The 2008 recession costing the nation, that means you, more than 7 million jobs, trillions in net worth, and left our economy shaken for years. It still has not fully recovered. So how come the people who did this to the nation got off scot-free? Why no perp walks, no indictments? Former chairman of the Federal Reserve and author of the brand new book, The Courage to Act, Ben Bernanke, goes on the record. Nice to see you, sir.
Nice to be here.
And congratulations on your new book.
Thanks. I'm glad it's out now.
And do I understand this correctly? I know that there's been some criticism, even of you, that there weren't any indictments, but you're the banker. You're not the attorney general. And am I right that you didn't dare to say anything during this time? Because anything that comes out of the Federal Reserve is going to shake the entire global economy because we all react to it.
Well, I was talking about the Department of Justice's strategy. They decided to try to penalize institutions and get big fines out of the banks. And I thought at the time that they would have been better off going after the folks who made the decisions. I mean, after all, it's people, not banks, that actually make decisions. I
guess I say this. I guess I say this because there's criticism that you didn't speak up at the time to go to the Justice Department and say, get some indictments. And maybe you haven't heard that criticism.
The Fed's is not an enforcement agency, and I thought that was out of my lane to talk to the Department of Justice, and I was worried about doing that.
All right. I guess my point is I'm with you on this one. I mean, I agree that you shouldn't have spoken up. I am highly critical of Attorney General Eric Holder and also of any Attorney General, because in the instance of Goldman Sachs, they had some sort of accounting gimmickry, and which had enormous consequences for the nation. And yet only one sort of low-level person in another institution ever was indicted.
That's right. And there were traders also who distorted their markets and rigged their markets. There's reason to go after those people. And, of course, each person gets a fair shake and fair investigation, but results should be what they are.
Was this a fun job, being chairman of the Federal Reserve?
Well, it was an interesting job, that's for sure. As an economist, I sure learned a lot. But I didn't really bargain for having the history's greatest financial crisis and a deep recession to deal with, no.
Were there nights in 2008 where you couldn't even sleep? I mean, were we on the cliff?
Absolutely. We were on the cliff, and I was in my office on that red sofa trying to stay awake and be on the conference calls. It was a very, very tough time, particularly in about September, October of 2008.
And indeed, it's such a difficult job because you never can look into the future. You don't have a crystal ball, I take it, the Federal Reserve to see what every decision is what it's going to do to the economy. I take you don't have one?
No, I don't have one. Never did have one. A lot of uncertainty. You're trying to balance a whole bunch of considerations every time.
Well, sir, thank you for joining us. The book is The Courage to Act, a memoir of crisis and its aftermath by former chairman of the Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke. And it is a fascinating read because we get the inside story. We were on the outside. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.